With no new romance in life, where's the draw of inspiration? Let my soul be intricate to every word in each poem that I write. It's not to play games with my own heart, but maybe it's a matter of an indefinite amount of time. Diving into the deep of love, once it's found, just to make up for loss of time. And loved intensely in all its raw form, new to me, because between the poem and the experience there's missing links. To where it lays in lovers' hands, heartbeat finally connected, smiles raised, raindrops, moon silver, sun glory, in sleep, in dreams, in yearnings and wishing. Though it adds to my love, valuing you, it only disrupts me, slows me down in its haunting taunts. For all I know, it's your touches, kisses, scent, the culture, the aroma that your immediate presence brings, muted silences, saying everything all at once and expressing thought, struggling to say everything. For all we end up saying is that I love you so. And any romantic art, whether it be music or poems, a single photo, film or painting, it will always lack something, perhaps everything, and in sheer accident. But it inspires to be under the spell of love, that it actually exists. Lover, for how addictive it is. But let them call us lost wanderers in one another, letting it go while we our poetry. Love has happened. So, I guess I'll be leaving you. Discarded memories in our past, overlapping those without each other, as it should. Collect days in our trapping glares, the burning fireflies, ambers in the sky, fighting space with those diamond stars. Breath smelt, sweetening kiss. It's how our thoughts connect, maddening us, wanting to try kissing everywhere simultaneously. Lover's struggle continues, but it's something to step to. The spasm between the honey and our pain. Now there's you to hold on to. It's you that hears me calling. Now I don't fall to self-destruct, transacting with beauty, glowing in the heavy lushness, heartbeats, violet links. There's too many secret places to go, new points of discovery, changing patterns, sweeping motions of melodies and singing concertos, creating musings for us to inspire to and change for the better. No poet ever said the struggle for love will stop today. For now, it's just us to create for our own. And to whatever rhetoric pole that follows us behind, leaves dropping, somber side, uproared quietly, being pulled from its self-produced soil, where it had once believed that true love never existed. Not at least outside novels, poetry, any other art, dreams, yearning, or some parallel universe where it had all teased us at some point, flanking thoughts, streams of constant screams, not knowing how to react, stunning, no longer to dream in sad eyes. Come alive. A twinge to flicker wild youth. Every thought now mixed with emotion. Every day filling to overflow. Romance, culture, outside of poetry and the new humanity. Not to rust, not to lose. Heaven graced, heaven fell upon. Angels as muses, simple gestures of writing poetry. Where all other poems had lost their value. Where they only briefly touched upon what love is. They're missing the experience of it. Living within reality. Living within forever. We're immortal. Smile for me now. Tenors sing for praise. The dramatist plays from inspiration. The layman left alone to be with envy and those poems turn to be directed about us. Everything that I am, my personal history, to what I had worked for, valued, had all faded away, and now I'm in the dream of you to live out in forever. Love now, live now, passion, wildness, flaring flames, pure ecstasy, loving as if forever does exist. Starlight shines, fireflies, moon looms around, silver glow beaming down to enhance the scene. Stars perform a ballet, as some call it, constellation. I dance naked, bearing everything to anyone who watches. I dare not stop. Breathing to throbbing, heavy breaths, I had finally reached the point. Nirvana, in awakening. Now, everything I touch becomes illuminating. It's seen in the air I breathe out. It's seen in the air I breathe out. Whistle out, whispering murmurs, new poems only lovers read. In any lover It's where earth performs intercourse with heaven. Penetration to soul, sparking a takeover of the entire being. It's when sin is forgiven. Perfume for the world. Street dreams under moonlight. Content serpents around. Across from the wild darkness, my shadow drips behind the ever step taken. Immense travelling, redness, omnipotent upon earth's surface. Love doesn't exist until it happens to you. I'm alive and glistening, never to depart. Poetry is vague outlines of humanity's thoughts breezing in the wind. Broken up and scattered. Not only in history, but in today's thread of present moments, in hopes to parent the future. Not only in history, but in today's thread of present moments, in hopes to parent the future. Wanting to taste freedom, tempting feelings, heroic images, lustful presence, cults of genius. It's hilarious to our muses. Bleeding hearts, heavy scent, languid, insinuating whispers of romance, articulating love, metamorphosis running wild, splitting all metaphysical hairs. Metamorphosis running wild, splitting all metaphysical hairs. Do not ask me about my past. It was all bad. How long can a good thing last? Endless angles, intricate to each word, to each poem. Poet hopes to impress them all. Lingering around poetic thoughts, softening anything mundane, to the point of it all being pointless, weakening outlook, turning inwards to thy inner world, reflections in mirrors, replica to vanishing points, soaking in conscience dreams of hoping future romance, to destiny. It's what life is meant to be, however heavy it may be. Lovers are going to heaven. For here my last love had died. For wanting love, to be in love, to find meaning, success, glory, forgetting haunting taunts of the mocking time, melodramatic rising emotions, the grandeur actions shared with another. Speak of poetics, living out a Shakespearean drama, losing my youth, lost in love, daring to take the beauty of lover and casting it out to the night stars, so their beauty can replace the constellations. And this all makes mad. And this all makes mad? Fine. Let it be. For this will be my exile, parting from humanity and all its earthly troubles. I cannot take it with me, for when I cross over, once in love, the pure essence of it, with another, experienced the plain state of human existence, is nowhere near fulfilling for me, and I thought I'll grieve, but not. I am smiling. My entire essence is the peril of my own lover. As for that, I'll die for thee. Until then, it's all I'm living for. The requiem for a dream is everything but a theme to our pumping souls, and no feelings from that composition besides death to every other. Subdued now to never to find praise or blame to the outside world and its inhabiting people, finding and following tailor-made emotions, leading us to sensations, a step closer to illumination that is made only for us, birthed into astounding ordinary life, poor in material, rich in character, and yet lover. We created our own legends, as ending time is our disease, for it conquers each other's hearts. Immortality will reduce to child's play. Immortality will reduce to child's play. Then the world's colours will be based on our mood. But if you want to genuinely smile, but if you want to genuinely smile, knowing that it will never stop, and any fear or insecurity will never be felt again, my dear adorer of poetry, be brave enough to find love, to love itself, and to be loved. For our soulmates are unexpected and horrifying in its first wave. It threatens to devalue everything that we had worked for, had become, to be honest. It often does. But what follows in it, forgetting future, marble moulded into the present, is something embellishing unholy. And if you want to know who'll never be in love, recite the above, and they'll respond in a way. Isn't that idea? Isn't that beautiful idea? And if you want to know who'll never be in love, recite the above, and they'll respond in a way. Isn't that a beautiful idea? Then I dare you to shame them. Lovers will always struggle against the world and all its cultures. damned, but they can use the eyes of angels and demons. To feel so alive and express it, flaring up and burning behind maybe a flash of poetry, maybe it's intervention from the muses. Poets, 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 do not dwell inside, leaving parts of thoughts, feelings, parts of your own soul in your poetry. Keep it all congested and open freely for those who make an effort. Storming life. Anything extra, write it in poetry. Life is tragic. See in darkness, shaken beauty, never to meet again. Underground, stepping onto the earth's floor. I am here. We are here. Colliding together for the sake of our love. Not being dead generally doesn't mean you're alive. Gold is not always noticed, but someday the world will end. Poets have been mysteriously quiet, outside of comfort. I shut my eyes. I part from this world where I was born and everyone had grown accustomed to, and I become alive. Freedom. I shouldn't get lost in the gift of dreaming. What happens to a life given freely and never to live? Poetry shouldn't be a derivative. Poetry shouldn't be a derivative of emotion vented. A poem shouldn't be continued to go unread. A poet should be upheld as some random romantic knowing the harshness of life in intimate forms. Freedom, for I live here too, along the side of reality. No longer left to daydream, left to wish for things I've never had. Stunned and stare into a terrain of romantic lands. Soft, gentle touch. surprised still how overloading love's hanging arms are, going beyond human contentment. It must be how angels felt, a threat reminded on the things people were indoctrinated to forget. O Haman, for my love was here, for now they're wandering around elsewhere, feeling as bad or worse than I am, and trust me, I am experiencing hell. But I see clearly, Layman, and you're too near me. Maybe to what I've touched. I touched thee, kissed, been held, made love and exchanged secrets. And it's all holy. And now, the inability to love now. Without thee is a part of not being alone, and to be a part of memories without thee, all the anticipation of it. With that, to whatever that entails, as what I have, the romantic complex, at core to my entire presence. To fall in love and see nothing but perfection. For that, I just wanted to be saved. In result, we ended up saving one another. A hallucination of poems dropping from the sky, angels tending to roses, dramatist with monologues speaking on the corner, William Blake, goats, symphonies to every step, wine to drink from the river. Paradise lives within, and hell when I'm without. No other part of my life outside my romantic life is my destiny shown stronger. It's a reminder to what I am not. Poetry is a local supplier crossed with the world, expressed. Like unknown strength, anyone can love without being taught how. Love and to be conscious of every action. a triumph over flaws and defects. Our fears, we invested in ourselves for so long. Perhaps it's too tiring to do so, turning to another, burning like a Roman candle, a person we can disperse into, exploding like those poems turning to stars of the night, and each sound that music plays, even flying further, to give angels rest. To what's left is up to us to do with. Musings in our thoughts, falling in complete, pure, and true love. Isn't reaching one's enlightenment. It's near nirvana. You will see the world when you hold your heart. Enlightenment happens in the crossover, musing angels over humanity. Intoxicating. A lover, a person, someone who is everything, lesser, equal and better, wrapped under the same skin as you, knowing everything about you and able to speak, knowing everything about you and able to speak your metaphysical allure. If it's love, you'll not only turn away from your history and to everything human-like here on earth, including poetry, symphonies, novels, sculptures, making marble paintings, you'll turn away from the Riviera, a lover, a person, someone who is everything, lesser, equal and better, wrapped under the same skin as you, knowing everything about you and able to speak your metaphysical allure. If it's love, you'll not only turn away from your history into everything human-like here on earth, including poetry, symphonies, novels, sculptures, making marble, paintings, you'll turn away from the Riviera, moonlight, candles, blankets, sunsets, butterflies and moths, careers, friends, family, and anything in between, significant to the life and to what's minor. Your eyes will only see one thing. If directed to the past, it's with the soulmate. Forward to the future, including thee. You'll exploit every moment with them. Poetry in action, their voice is the symphony. Colours painted them. Marble is jealous. Their contentment is your career. Hands your friend. Their heart your family, and their total atmosphere, inclusive to their immediate presence, is the totality of life. Pass together the novels. If it's fear, defects, insecurity, worry, angst that you dwell on while thinking of that one, blame it on the knowledge of knowing how much you mean to them. Anything else is propaganda and misleading. Nothing burdens them like the lack of attention you can act on. Nothing burdens them like the lack of attention you can act on. To be honest, it's the only burden that they'll feel. For every thought blended into my mind and had to plant a rose, the earth will be covered with them as all oceans dried up to continue. Then I shall purge on heaven and hell. And as for perfection, it's in enlightenment. When it happens, it's over at the other side. Till then, neither perfection and enlightenment will never be achieved. Striving towards it, smile, heart lifting, never me or them will be perfect, a flare, constant stream of it. I have accepted it, a reason to die, a reason to live. You are a dream, here, living in reality, turning everyday common things, something that had once been out from a myth, dreamt by poetry, dreaming in eternity, never to be treated as ordinary. Moon glows on us under an oak tree. Smiling continues. A collection of art conjuring in us. There's a measure of intelligence. Generally, it's in the little people you know. How you're improved from yesterday. The ability to change. To keep quiet. And to whenever you leave, you take away my heart, rendering me to be alone and feeling the anxious mood of the world, knowing its impending doom. I'm nectar to flowers. We've been given life. It's up to us to live. When we're broke, it's when they smile. I cannot settle on being alone, considering I had discovered you. As the spectrum at the other end within my duality is telling me that this is going to define my entire existence. Knowing now that love is restless, unable to be defined itself, it hurts when you love someone and all core of destiny is completely relying on the other's attention. It darkens when they look away. For that perfection always seems to elude me in every step, in every moment of life that I live. I've heard that life is nothing but a series of losses. Without thee, I'm left with myself. for in company with travel. Perhaps a lover for another is an action of forgetting ourselves, and one's identity is validated by how much curiosity the other holds, their angst, their questioning, their constant flicker of the eyelids, never to leave the direction of me, in hope to look beyond my character, and shocked as much now, shocked in past moments, to how much I continue to learn. No mystic, no muse I've met, teaching methods on how to deal with pain in love. Buddha reached nirvana. Camus reached the height of romantic allure. Mozart reached artistic greatness, immortalized in pictures. For I have reached the horizon and able to come back. It's childish to fall in love with those we never know, as earth its own troubles. In most lives, romances are never as pure as it's portrayed in some art. For when it happens, the calm down is threatening of the explosion of one's essence. Or was it all a dream? As technology becomes its insinuation, a pillar of human progress, derived paths of communications, it's easy to notice its satanic undertones of a beloved who doesn't call or make any contact. Unrequited love may be painful, but it is safely painful because it does not involve inflicting damage on anyone but oneself. A private pain that is as bittersweet as it is self-induced. But as soon as love is reciprocated, one must be prepared to give up the passivity of simply being hurt to take on the responsibility of perpetuating. One must be prepared to give up the passivity of simply being hurt to take on the responsibility of perpetrating hurt oneself. There is a longing for a return to a time without the need for choices, free of the regret and the inevitable loss that all choice, however wonderful, has entailed. For any romantic, that's not only at the beginning of love or even learning how to be. They had lost all sense of time. The agony and void of humanity increased. Fluster emotions flickered of a smile until it gets caught in a glance. Poetry in flesh. To wrestle with love is to lose, and when it's noticed, anything beautiful of the flesh is looked past, diving on purpose to the character, noticing everything, desirous of knowing everything at once, never to want it any other way, where things like jealousy, envy, greed, and lust part from each individual, vibing. Everything becomes so raw in the creation of a lover's world. With no more tears left to cry, no longer questioning why things had been worked for, lost their value, for the shackles of the life provided, like it provides for everyone, has dripped away in melting forgetness, being in existence and found its own fate, safety in the other's arms, destined. Watch the romance swell, knowing thyself in brutal clarity, fearing the flaws, fears, insecurities inside, vowing that no one else would ever know, and a single smile or kiss, slight touch of the fingers, like sin. It's forgotten and forgiven. Everything now has been illuminated, blazing sun, fireflies in the moon's silver, bathing in romance, in those touches, private moments, holding one another, throbbing fingertips for throbbing sensation, an entire inner world battered in pulsing waves, wanting to scream out, taming waves, wild in everything else, enticing. Exchange secrets, parts of the soul swapped, muses smile and want to retire. Turn the lights on. For now, heaven can relax. Later is when the beauty of lovers are thrown into the depths of heaven, and romance can make love with it. If I could start from scratch, I'll wage war earlier in attempts to conquer my own flaws, in order to be pillar and make something of myself, be a blessing to those I dare open up to, as some have been to me. Growing pains is in retrospect, but I guess a contribution to youth is always adjoined to learning. If I could start from scratch, I'll celebrate my 18th by vowing to stay clean, showing up to recovery and never saying a single word to any other in those rooms. If I could start my life from scratch, I would learn about death, growing my learning thoughts to its definition and learn how to die. We all die one day, and I'll open up to death's fate. It isn't a crime unless they catch you. If you live for yourself, you'll die in shame. If I could start from scratch, I'll hug every person who is kind enough to say hello. If I could start my life from scratch, I'll value reading poetry for the sake of the poet who had spent their entire time articulating the words, thoughts that are mixed in with emotions. I'll respect the devil because truth doesn't change and faith isn't required when it comes to it. For now, if you get too close, I'll clap you and wouldn't recite to victimhood when I got to leave home. Because they had no money, and the lack of understanding others leaves room of void. No one will truly know until we all trade places. Life isn't promised. I'm still blessed to every dollar I'm getting, and I'm still being guilty of being anxious. I've given up on getting a fair go. Reality demands something else to what society gives back. The duality of humanity breeds fair go to those who develop originality. To soak up pain is to understand. But I wouldn't dare to sing gospel. I'll sit quiet, because I heard that when one weeps, you're alone. I heard a blast. When I die, I want to be a living legend. For they tried to kill me. If I could start my life from scratch, I wouldn't prevent myself from falling down. I'll come to grips with it. There's no other feeling like getting up and trying again. Then again, I could part from my past, but never to replace it. So cost to cost, before going broke, I'll snatch their wallets and run, then focus on dying without a whimper. Infinite. Infinite. Let it fill up with the mystics. Love filling, love in void, that's an endless mystery. And I love the adrenaline in my veins. From the out, the water, eating the apples, getting caught up on the supernovas, paying the price of diamonds in the sky. Not only I parted my past and everything that I had worked for, it's required that I forget about humanity and all their values, never to speak between again. Breaking the chains was the greatest gift given, but your soul is needed. There's no tears left to cry. To live in the world requires you loving it or hating it, to move on from it, reach beyond it all, forgetting death, to live with the muses, tea with the angels, witnessing virgin lovers finding love for the first time, constructed by holy dust. Going into exile does not claim possession, it has provided a freedom. And I'm coming out. My inner world needs not dreams to live, for I had found another reality behind closed curtains. On a night like this, I'm in forever. My own importance to the world is small and stupid to some, slight and soothing to my own essence, diamonds in the lights, aligning stars in the night. Wonder what it takes to come alive. And it usually is something simple. Lovers with unqualified praise that never deny potent poetry. I often kiss her, not to taste her. I often want to escape. So I dream to dive it into her soul. Glorious treat, outshining caviar. It's when anything exotic is devalued. To be accepted with a sinful past, clean smile, a rapture in one's life. To fall in love and to be loved greater back. Awakening, transforming period. To impress any mystic, there's forever, and I hold it. If only I praise her, how I'm supposed to use it otherwise. A golden mask hides sin. Love is for the brave with sin in their soul. Life is given freely. Oh, poetry, you can never express what I feel for her. Pure love produces the highest forms of poetry, and the lover's heartbeat causes tremors everywhere, including the cosmos that permit every supernova to move. As for the rest, love is meant to be experienced and never to be told to others. With no new romance in life, where's the draw of inspiration? Let my soul be intricate to every word in each poem that I write. It's not to play games with my own heart, but maybe it's a matter of an indefinite amount of time. Diving into the deep of love once it's found, just to make up for loss of time. And loved intensely in all its raw form, new to me, because between the poem and the experience, there's missing links to where it lays in lovers' hands. Heartbeat finally connected. Smiles raised. Raindrops. Moon silver. Sun glory. In sleep. In dreams. In yearnings and wishing. Though it adds to my love, valuing you, it only disrupts me, slows me down, and its haunting taunts. For all I know, it's your touches, kisses, scent, the culture, the aroma that your immediate presence brings. Muted silences, saying everything all at once and expressing thought, struggling to say everything. For all we end up saying is that I love you so. And any romantic art, whether it be music or poems, a single photo, film, or painting, it will always lack something, perhaps everything in a sheer accident, but it inspires to be under the spell of love, that it actually exists. Lover, for how addictive it is. But let them call us lost wanderers in one another, letting it go, while we exiled ourselves in one another's private world, made only for thee. Poetry. Love has happened. So, I guess I'll be leaving you. Discarded memories in our past, overlapping those without each other, as it should. Collect days in our trapping glares, the burning fireflies, ambers in the sky, fighting space with those diamond stars. Breaths melt, sweetening kiss. It's how our thoughts connect, maddening us, wanting to try, kissing everywhere simultaneously. Lover's struggle continues. But it's something to step to, a spasm between the honey and our pain. Now there's you to hold on to. It's you that hears me calling. Now I don't fall to self-destruct, transacting with beauty, glowing in the heavy lushness, heartbeats, violet links. There's too many secret places to go. New points of discovery, changing patterns, sweeping motions of melodies and singing concertos, creating musings for us to inspire to and to change for the better. No poet ever said the struggle for love will stop today. For now, it's just us to create for our own. And to whatever rhetoric poem that follows us behind, leaves dropping. Somber side, uproared quietly, being pulled from its self-produced soil, where it had once believed that true love never existed. Not at least outside novels, poetry, any other art, dreams, yearning, or some parallel universe. Where it had all teased us at some point, flanking thoughts, streams of constant screams, not knowing how to react, stunning, no longer to dream in sad eyes. Come alive. A twinge to flicker wild youth. Every thought now mixed with emotion. Every day filling to overflow romance culture outside of poetry and the new humanity. Not to rust, not to lose. Heaven graced, heaven fell upon. Angels as muses, simple gestures of writing poetry, where all other poems had lost their value, where they only briefly touched upon what love is. They're missing their experience of it, living within reality, living within forever. We're immortal. Smile for me now. Tenors sing for praise. The dramatist plays from inspiration. The layman left alone to be with envy, and those poems turned to be directed about us. Everything I am, my personal history, to what I had worked for, valued, had all faded away. And now I'm in the dream of you, to live out in forever. Love now.